Numbers don't lie, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie, numbers don't lie. I got this you can't buy. Numbers don't lie, numbers don't lie.
I don't even want to waste no time. Let's talk about the 25 Royal Rumble, shall we? We're going to kick it right off. The women's side ultimately won by Charlotte Flair, which we predicted on our prediction show, both me and the Young Lion. By the way, Young Lion went 4-0 on his predictions. I went 3-1, so he wins this one. But women's Royal Rumble, I personally thought it was excellent, if not predictable. We had enough surprises. Jordynne Grace, I expected her to be in there, so that wasn't a big surprise. My all-star of the women's Royal Rumble match was Roxanne Perez, being the runner-up, eventually getting eliminated by Charlotte Flair there at the very end. She lasted damn near the entire fucking match. So I think that's a big feather in her cap and her future for once she gets called up. They made her look like a complete star, and that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do for the Royal Rumble, men and women. Build people up, make people who are less known to the casual fan base look like stars, and that's exactly what they did for Roxanne Perez. There was a couple things for that match that I would have liked to have seen, but ultimately they probably were unrealistic. Like, I really wanted Jade Cargill to be in the match, but I don't know what her health status is. I don't know what her status is in general, but I felt like it would have been a great moment if she came into that match and confirmed, went straight after the person who injured her backstage, which I think is Naomi. But I'm open to there being a twist because there is some dissension between that women's tag team champion group of Naomi and Bianca Belair. But yeah, man, too much Pure Fusion collection in that match. I mean, that team, to me, I'm not checking for them. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody say, oh yeah, we love Pure Fusion collection. So that was like next to nothing to me. Trish Stratus was in the match again. I mean, I love Trish Stratus. You know, I'm an Attitude Era guy. I'm an Attitude Era baby, but I don't need to see her in the Royal Rumble anymore at this point. And trust me, I'm building up who I didn't want to see. But I'm getting there. I'll get there. I'll get there slowly but surely. You had Stephanie Vacour and Julia in the match. I think they performed very well. They performed very excellent in that match, and they put on the show once again, building up new stars, introducing them to the casual fan base. Lyra Valkyria getting eliminated so early. But that was weird. That was kind of weird. Kind of wished, which I don't know if it was something that should have happened, but it's something I wanted to happen. I definitely wanted to see more feats of strength from Jordynne Grace besides her just picking up Piper Niven. I definitely wanted to see Jordynne Grace cross paths with Nia Jax. Wouldn't have minded seeing Jordynne Grace cross paths with Lash Legend. I think if you could have got that in there, that would have been a perfect little moment for Jordynne Grace in the Royal Rumble. But now, let me get down to the ending of the women's Royal Rumble match. And if I'm not mistaken, the final four, and I could be mistaken, I feel like it might have been Bayley, Nikki Bella, Charlotte, and Roxanne Perez. First and foremost, didn't care to see Nikki Bella. Very great that she didn't win. Ultimately, didn't need to see her in the match. I feel like she's reached and exceeded everything she could have in her WWE career. And I just don't need to see her, man. I mean, which is tough. You know, it's an attractive woman. Of course you want to see it. But, yeah, man, like there's nothing storyline-wise or fans clamoring or anything. Yeah, she got some cheers when she came out, but I think that was more of a surprise cheer. But once it settled in, it was kind of just like, okay, please don't let her win this match. That would have been some Vince McMahon era level booking if Nikki Bella would have made the match. Like that would have won the match. It's damn there was some Vince McMahon level booking to have her even make it to the end of the match, even though she came in late. Charlotte Flair. WWE dropped the ball pretty much very from the beginning, starting with them not letting her be a surprise entrant in the match and having vignettes air of her coming out with pyro, her getting glazed by the announce team. Like, all those things pretty much told us that she was winning. I would have liked, if I could have added an extra wrinkle in there, I feel like they could have made it even more seem like Roxanne Perez had an actual chance to win the Royal Rumble there at the end. We all kind of knew that Charlotte was going to win it, but they definitely could have had Roxanne Perez kind of, give some work to Charlotte a little bit before Charlotte ultimately eliminated her. But yeah, it was very telegraphed that Charlotte was going to win, which is why she was my pick during the prediction show. It almost seemed like a foregone conclusion, and that's kind of how it played out. I want to say the next match in the Royal Rumble was Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, but whether it was the next match or not, that's what the hell I'm going to talk about, God damn it. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens ladder match. Now, I'm not engaging in hyperbole when I say this. If you eliminate TLC matches, that was one of the best ladder matches I ever seen. That ladder match wasn't even really about climbing a fucking ladder. That match was about them beating the absolute shit out of each other. Big ladder, little ladder, just selling the facial expressions. Like, Kevin Owens looked like he absolutely disdained Cody Rhodes and vice versa. And that's how it should have been. That's how it should have been. Those two went to war in that ring. They went to absolute war. And just the whole thing just played out perfectly. That match far and away exceeded my expectations. I didn't expect to be that impressed with the match because just like with Charlotte Flair winning the Women's Royal Rumble, I thought Cody Rhodes winning the ladder match was a foregone conclusion. But Kevin Owens actually presented it in a way that made you believe that he had a chance of climbing up there and pulling down that title belt after he beat the holy hell out of Cody Rhodes. I mean, they had some spots. Cody Rhodes flipping Kevin Owens through the ladder in the ring, and don't even get me started on the shit that happened outside the ring. It was so bad that Sami Zayn even came out there and he was ready to give Kevin Owens CPR. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, Cody was beating the shit out of that boy. Like, he had Kevin Owens busted open and he didn't stop beating the shit out of him. He seen him bleeding, kept beating the shit out of him, asked him, hey, this is what you wanted, right? This is what you wanted. Was beating the holy fuck out of him. And it's justified based on the buildup to that match. It was very personal. Cody ultimately put Kevin out of his misery with an Alabama slam from the announce table through a ladder, had Kevin Owens looking like Raccoon when Goku got to Namek, blew his ass up. That's how Kevin Owens looked. Like, I don't even know what it was looking like. Kevin Owens' ass was pointing towards his face by the time he went through that ladder and went to the floor. Sami Zayn was checking on him. But what I got to talk about, what I have to talk about, is the post-match antics of Cody Rhodes. That's what I got to talk about, man, because, ooh, what are we getting? What are we doing here? You know, for over a decade, I watched John Cena do things where I'll be like, oh, shit, John is about to turn heel. Only for John to turn around, give some impassioned speech, and justify why his actions were warranted. Well, we're in the same crossroads, no pun intended, with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes climbed up after he destroyed Kevin Owens. He climbed up, grabbed both of the belts down, celebrated, looked down at Kevin and Sami, said, went back to celebrating, got down from the ring, began to walk away, turned around, walked back, climbed on the announce table, held up the belts again, and looked down at Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. He said something to Sami Zayn. I think he said that's what he wanted. I was starting to see glimmers of Homelander. Like I was starting to see glimmers of Homelander and Cody Rhodes. And oh man, there's just so many avenues they could go with this. There's so many avenues that we could go with this because at this point, we kind of have a good idea of what the world heavyweight title match is going to be at WrestleMania. We'll get to that later. But there's so many branches of this. I mean, is Cody going to go into WrestleMania as the champion? One. Two, if he goes into the WrestleMania as the champion, is he going to be a face? Is he going to be a heel? And who's he going to face? Somebody, and I think it was Planet Productions over on his YouTube channel. I think that he said something that just made fucking sense to me. Like if Cody Rhodes turns heel, faces John Cena, and cheats to win, he will be a nuclear heel. Like he would be. Let John Cena fuck around. Like let's say, because I think they did this last year. Let's say the Elimination Chamber match isn't for the actual WWE title. It's for the number one contendership, right? Let's say John Cena wins that match. And from this week leading up to WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes continues to descend. Cody Rhodes basically says, you know what? From now on, I'm going to be the judge, jury, and executioner of the WWE. If you're doing shit the wrong way, if you're taking shortcuts, I'm coming after you. Like, that's what he should definitely do. He should rule that shit with an iron fist. Rule it with an iron fist. Lead up to WrestleMania, and then you're basically getting John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. The old John Cena versus the current John Cena. The old guy who went around, did all the Make-A-Wishes, did all the fan signings, did all the high-fiving kids on the way to the ring versus the new guy that does the same thing. And instead of it being a battle of two impassioned baby faces, you have one of them screw the other one over and basically say, I'm the judge, jury, and executioner of this company now, and you no longer fit with what's best for business. But then on the flip side, we'll get to what John Cena said after the Men's Royal Rumble later. But there's a lot of moves. There's a lot they could do with this. You could even have Cody ride into WrestleMania, face CM Punk, babyface versus babyface or baby. Either one of them could be a face or a heel in that match. There's so much you can do. And it's all because of the way Cody Rhodes posed after he destroyed Kevin Owens. DIY versus the Motor City Machine Guns. This is like one of the quickest 2 out of 3 falls matches I've ever seen. These two teams went back and forth. All 4 of those guys can go in the ring. So it was an excellent match. Ciampa and Gargano pulled some kind of trick, got the first pin, and then the Motor City Machine Guns were able to hit their finisher, got the next pin. But the story of that match isn't DIY, and it isn't the Motor City Machine Guns. The story of that match is the Street Profits saying, fuck it. Finally saying, fuck it. I'm tired of being the nice guys. We're tired of going around trying to do the right thing. We're going to do shit our way. We're going to go after our belts. And I'll tell you right now, the Street Profits going to get those belts back, especially if they're rolling with this type of mindset. Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins. Montez Ford distracted the ref. Angelo Dawkins start cracking the shit out of the Motor City Machine Guns with that crutch. And then when you thought it was over, then when you thought it was like, okay, they're helping DIY. DIY hired them instead of Pretty Deadly. Just when you thought that was the case, Montez Ford start cracking the shit out of Ciampa and Gargano. So we're going to see some new Street Profits. They need to change their entrance music, man. Because the one thing I'll tell you right now, if I'm looking at 2 tough guys, I don't need to hear, I think bring the swag like nobody can. I don't need to hear that. I don't need to hear that. I need to hear some real, like I hate to say this because they were a part of the Lashley's group. I need to hear some shit similar to the Hurt Syndicate's entrance music. I need these 2 motherfuckers to be menacing when they come to the ring. Like they really finna take some dudes out there. but I think this is very good for the Street Profits. I feel like this gave a nice little bump to the tag division, giving the Street Profits a little bit of an edge. And I'm excited to see what happens in the tag division for SmackDown. Main event, men's Royal Rumble match. Oh man, I'm gonna try to remember exactly how this shit went down, piece by piece. The match started off with Penta and Rey Mysterio Jr. And then the more the match went on, we got enough guys in there. We got Chad Gable in there. We got Santos Escobar in there. Like, kept adding luchadors and cruiserweights to the match. And I started to just think like, damn, it really would be nice. And I know people think WWE has too many titles right now, but wouldn't it be nice if they had a cruiserweight title? Wouldn't it be nice if you had a title you could put on Penta and it not be some big thing about like who he's beating? Because he could be one of the kings of that division. Rey Mysterio, Carmelo Hayes, Santos Escobar, Chad Gable, all the guys similar around that size. I would love to see a title belt return for that class of weight, or that weight class. I don't know what the hell class of weight is, but the match started. So I think that got the match off to a very, very fast pace, and it was pretty damn cool. And then the more the match went on, you start to get the heavy hitters. After guys like Otis and things like that were out of there, you start to get the heavy hitters, and it was just a shit ton of storylines playing out in that match. Now, according to the dirt sheets, those storylines didn't all get fulfilled according to how they claim Drew McIntyre reacted after the match and was saying people was trying to get their moves in and fucking up the storylines, but I digress. I'm going to tell you the things that I liked. I'm going to tell you the things that I didn't like. Akira Tozawa getting fucked up in IShowSpeed coming out there. And I'll tell you right now, I don't like the whole, if your name isn't Logan Paul or Bad Bunny, you got big shoes to fill. I don't really fuck with YouTubers and shit like that being in WWE matches. I just don't, but I understand the business and social media side of it. It's good for business that a guy like IShowSpeed shows up in the match. Another thing I think is he took some bumps pretty damn good, and I give him tons of respect for that. Because that spear he took from Braun Breaker, he near broke his ass in half. And then he got fucking flipped over the table by Otis. So, I mean, he took his lumps, man. He took his lumps. And if he said he didn't want to do, if he really don't want to do that shit no more, I don't blame him, bro. Like, to be honest, I don't blame him. But he did this thing, like, as far as like taking them hits. Like, he's not Logan Paul. Like, I don't think many people are. There's not too many people who could just come into the WWE from social media, like being a true athlete and going out there and putting on a fucking show like that, like Logan Paul. That's like a rare breed, like, to be honest. So, I mean, but I do respect that he came out and he was able to take those lumps like that, and he was able to walk gingerly away from the ring. Freaking Jacob Fatu, man. Jacob Fatu is such a fucking star. Like, the entire time he was in the Royal Rumble, it didn't matter who was out there. It didn't matter how many people was out there. He owned that fucking ring. He owned it. Roman Reigns owned that fucking ring. These are the guys that stand out. I didn't feel like Seth Rollins stood out too much. I didn't feel like Drew McIntyre stood out too much. Drew McIntyre elimination was kind of just like, was kind of weird. I don't even know how to explain it. And that's probably why he was pissed off. There's just so much in this match, man. John Cena looked good. John Cena looked like John Cena. CM Punk did his damn thing, man. But we got to get down to the final. We have to get down to the final four. Wait, before we get down to the final, one more thing, man. I don't know. And I don't know if he was, I don't know what was wrong with that dude. He was tripping. Like, Braun Strowman, who honestly, after taking that beat down, should have lost his ticket to the Royal Rumble. I'm going to be honest. But Braun Strowman, he somehow eliminated Jacob Fatu. I don't think that was a smart decision, but whatever. And I don't know. It just felt like he was fucking up the entire time he was out there. He didn't catch Finn Balor. Like, I don't know what the fuck was happening with that, but yeah, that's what I wanted to touch on that real quick before I got into the finals of the match. The match ended up with John Cena, Logan Paul, CM Punk, Jey Uso. It was at that point of the match where I said, damn, either me or Young Lion Ty are going to be right about what happened in this match. I'll be damned, CM Punk got eliminated. And that was the whole thing because right before that, Roman Reigns got eliminated. So now you got Seth, Roman, and CM Punk getting into it outside the ring. Paul Heyman, poor guy, just caught in the fucking middle. Seth Rollins double curve stumped Roman Reigns into the mat. Like, I'm talking about both feet to the back of the head simultaneously. It looked like he planted Roman's head like a fucking seed. Like, I shit you not. Then Seth started to go after CM Punk, and those two started brawling, pulling each other's hair. Then once that got separated, you had CM Punk step over Roman Reigns like Iverson stepped over Tyronn Lue, and then, kind of looked at Paul Heyman like, yeah, motherfucker, you owe me a favor. And then he kept it pushing. He just left. And so what we were left with was John Cena, Logan Paul, Jey Uso. And somehow they got Logan Paul out of there. I started to get worried for a second. I was like, I've already moved past the point of being one of those guys that's like, oh man, Logan Paul, he's in the WWE, it's such a sham, it's bullshit. I've been moved past that. And I moved past that because Logan Paul proved that he can go in the fucking WWE ring. What else do you want? Like, the guy acts like a heel and he can wrestle. Like, what else can you ask for out of a performer? So, but I don't want him to win. I didn't want him to win the Royal Rumble match because I felt like that would have felt like WWE pushing something too hard, like, to be honest. So I'm glad that he got eliminated. And then when it got down to Cena and Jey Uso, it dawned on me that there's no wrong decision in this match and the way this match ends. And I know a lot of people are mad because Jey Uso won and they feel like John Cena should have won. But let me tell you right now, there's a ton of different ways for John Cena to still get into the main event of WrestleMania. The question is who's going to miss out? Because Jay's going. Like, is CM Punk going to get his dream fulfilled, or is John Cena going to get his dream fulfilled? And so I kind of don't know how that's going to play out. I will tell you that Jey Uso won, of course, and John Cena had a lot to say after the match. John Cena pretty much said, and I'm going to sum it up, he pretty much said, I've been doing what the company wants for like 23 fucking years, and I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be in the main event of WrestleMania because it's best for business, and I'm going to get the title and break the record because it's best for business. So it was kind of weird because you had Cody Rhodes and John Cena both saying some like hillish type shit. Like, so I don't know, man, but if I had to give this year's Royal Rumble a star rating, I'm not going to fucking do it because I'm not Dave Meltzer. So that's besides the point. But what I will say is that I did enjoy the show and that people need to stop crying. Charlotte won, Jay won, fucking live with it. And just enjoy the road to WrestleMania. And that's it for this episode of the Crimson Mass Show. I'm MFG Deez and I'm out. See y'all later.